Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. And today I'm going to talk about why you haven't heard from the narcissist. Where's the Hoover, right? Why hasn't the narcissist tried to get in touch with you? You've heard time and time again, narcissists come back. But why hasn't your narcissist come back? Or why haven't you heard from the narcissist already? Well, I'm going to give you reasons why you haven't heard from the narcissist. Number one, the narcissist, when you don't hear from a narcissist, 9 times out of 10, it's because they're occupied. They're busy at the moment. That doesn't necessarily mean that the narcissist is happy, okay? A lot of times a narcissist could be with a new supply and they could be fighting and arguing, and you're thinking, well, why haven't they tried me? Well, it could be because the narcissist has another backup to the new supply who they're talking to, and you're no longer a backup to the new supply. See, everybody thinks, oh, the narcissist moves on, they go to the new supply, and hopefully if things don't work out with the new supply, that you'll hear from the narcissist. And that's not always the case. Sometimes narcissists can bounce to somebody else. Because here's the thing with the narcissist, you guys. They don't just deal with one. They deal with multiple people. So even though a narcissist could have discarded you and moved on to someone else, they guarantee, they're talking to someone else besides the new supply. So they may be bouncing over to someone else, and you're thinking, oh, they're still with the new supply, but they could have moved on to somebody else as well. So the reasons that you may not have heard from the from the narcissist is because the narcissist could be busy. They could have moved on to a new supply after the new supply, okay? Because this is the cycle that narcissists do. They move on from one to the other, to the other, to the other. And they don't necessarily come back to you right away. Sometimes they can come back to you years later. See, people come back to me and they say, oh, I never heard, the narcissist is never coming back. They're never coming back. Well, you never really know that with a narcissist because it all depends on what's going on in that narcissist's life. If you have a narcissist who's very independent, has a lot of options, has a lot of supply, the chances of you hearing from that narcissist are slim to none, and especially if the relationship ended up really bad, okay? If they don't need to come back to you, you won't hear from them. When you hear from a narcissist, it's generally because they need you. They need something from you. Now, they don't come back to you because you're no longer grade A supply. So they have other supply and they don't need to come back to you. The other reason why you may not have heard from the narcissist is because the narcissist knows that you know exactly what they are. The narcissist realizes that you have figured them out. And where's that going to get the narcissist? Nowhere, okay? If they really feel that you know exactly what they are, they're not going to try you. They're not going to try you. They would have to be incredibly desperate to try you. And some do get very desperate and will try because they figure they don't have anything to lose. So the misconception out there is this. A lot of people will sit there and say, oh, narcissists, they'll all come back. They'll all come back. Not always. Not all narcissists come back. Most do, but not all. And that's just a sad reality. Thinking like this person pretended to love you, care about you. They moved on to a new supply. A lot of people are hoping, that the narcissist reaches out to them because they want to feel like they meant something to that narcissist. But the sad reality is a narcissist never really attached to you. So if they never reach out to you, understand this. It could be because they never really attached to you. So they're not worried about it because, they have other supply at the moment. So if you haven't heard from the narcissist, understand this. Look back on your relationship. Look at the narcissist that you dealt with. Were they a quote unquote independent type of narcissist, which means that they had options. They could get a lot of supply. If that were the case where they had options, maybe they were very good looking, maybe they had money themselves, maybe they had things going for them, they're going to be more independent and less likely to come back to you. But if you're dealing with, let's say, a broke, busted narcissist, or a narcissist that has a hard time getting other supply, and you had a good supply, then the likelihood of them coming back is greater. And also, if your supply was a lot better than what other supplies are. See, a lot of times narcissists, they branch off to another supply thinking it's better. Or maybe they're just getting resistance from you and they want to just go where it's easier. And then they realize that they missed out, that your supply is better than theirs. And that's when they could come back and hoover you too. So just because you haven't heard from them doesn't mean they won't come back. A lot of them do come back. But be prepared for the fact that not all do. Not all do. So if you're dealing with a narcissist that, has a lot of supply, could be a big time player or something like that, you probably won't hear from them. You probably won't hear from them unless you were involved with them and you had something that they really, really wanted, okay? In order for a narcissist to come back, you have to have something that they want or they need. So ask yourself, do you have something that narcissist wants or needs? Do you have something that they can't get anywhere else? If you have something they can't get anywhere else, there's a higher likelihood that you'll hear from that narcissist. But if they could get what you have from other people, you may never hear from that narcissist again, okay? You may never hear from that narcissist again. And see, this is where I have a problem with the misinformation out there, because there's some influencers that go and they say things like, oh, the narcissist will definitely miss you. Oh, the narcissist will definitely regret losing you. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. And to make people think that is misleading, all right? Because, like I said before, it depends on the narcissist you dealt with and, how independent they are and how much supply they have. So, like I said, if a narcissist has a lot of supply, the likelihood of you hearing from them will be very low. But if they have low supply or they're not doing well, the likelihood of you hearing from them would be greater, okay? So you really have to analyze, who were you to this person? Who were you? You have to look back on your relationship with the narcissist, and you have to figure out what it was that you offered that person. Was it sex? Was it money? Was it a place to stay? What was it that you had that made that narcissist get with you? A lot of people don't even realize why the narcissist got with them, because they're thinking the narcissist got with them for the same reasons they wanted to be in a relationship. Because narcissists will fool you. They'll tell you they love you, they care about you, they want you. But deep down, the narcissist, maybe they realized you had money, or your family had money, or you were coming into an inheritance. All right. That may not mean anything to you because you don't see that, because the narcissist is telling you how much they love and care about you. But what the narcissist is seeing is dollar signs. Okay. Dollar signs. So if they can get that money from someone else, you may not hear from that narcissist. If they have another supply and they're after a supply of money and they're doing okay, you may not hear from that narcissist. But generally, when it comes to things like money and stuff, a lot of times narcissists will try to come back, okay? They'll try to come back because, money is always number one. Narcissists are always trying to get money somewhere, somehow from everybody. So just because you haven't heard from them doesn't mean that they're not coming back. They could come back, but it depends on your relationship. It really depends on your relationship. And understand this, narcissists don't regret losing you. They regret what you had to offer them, okay? They the way they regret is they regret getting caught. A narcissist regrets getting caught. They regret being found out and being you figuring out what they are. That's what they regret, getting caught. Because if they had the opportunity, they would do it again. 99% of the time, they're going to do it again. So they got with you because either they were lusting you or they knew from the onset that you had something that they wanted. It could be financial, maybe a place to live, but you had something that they wanted. So that's generally, why the narcissist got with you. So if they left you and they're with another supply and they're getting what they were after from you, you may not hear from that narcissist. The other time you may not hear from a narcissist is when they know that you're really a strong person. See, narcissists underestimate people and they think that they could play anybody. They figure once they've got you hooked, they figure if they've got you hooked once, they figure they could do it again. So what a lot of narcissists do is they also think that, well, I'll give it time. I'll let you cool down, and then I'll come back. And people think, oh, they're going to come back right away. Narcissists don't always come back right away. They can come back years down the road. All right. Like I said, is that narcissist independent? Do they have a lot of supply? Are they busy? When a narcissist is busy with other supply, you're not going to hear from them. Period. End of story. You're going to hear from them when they're bored with other supply or they're not doing well. They're fighting with the other supply and they don't have anybody else to maybe bounce to. That's when they come back. They hoover their exes, they recycle their exes, and they try their exes because they know they had that supply at one time and they figure they can get that supply again. They just have to really kill you with the love bombing, just really, really love bomb the hell out of you till, you can't take it. But what they don't realize is you become stronger the longer you're away from that narcissist. And that's where they get blindsided. So if you haven't heard from the narcissist, it could be that they're either giving it time and they're going to come back. They're giving it more time, or they're busy right now with the new supply or with another supply that's a backup to the new supply. Or a lot of times, too, you haven't heard from the narcissist because of their pride, because they don't want to come back and give in to you, all right? Sometimes you have a very narcissist filled with pride and they don't want to reach out because they don't want to give you the satisfaction that they're coming back. So that could be a narcissist that is independent and doesn't need you because they have other supply that's keeping them busy. So they figure, you know what? I'm not going to reach out to you. I have this other supply. I don't want to give you the satisfaction. So that's another reason why you haven't heard from the narcissist. But in any event, once you break up from a narcissist, you've got to make it, that's it. They're RIP. You can never let this person back in because they're going to treat you twice as bad if they come back because now they know that, you're letting them back in, which automatically signals you're weak, you're desperate, and they feel that's a license to step on you even more. You will never get the person that you had in the beginning because that was all an act. That was all a con. That was all them trying to fool you into thinking they really cared about you. If they really cared about you, they would have never walked out of your life. They would have tried to work it out with you, okay? If they really cared about you, they wouldn't have talked to you and devalued you the way they did. They wouldn't have, put you down and all of that. They wouldn't have cheated on you. They wouldn't have, lied to you, all these things. If they really, really cared about you, they would have respected you. But the narcissist didn't respect you. And that's why they felt they could treat you like garbage. So once you see it for what it is, shut that door, slam that door, and don't let this person ever back into your life. Okay? Don't let anybody back into your life that disrespected you. Don't ever let them disrespect you a second time. It's shame on them the first time, but shame on you the second time if you let them back in because you saw what they are. And if you let them back in, you're not you're disrespecting yourself is what you're doing. You're disrespecting yourself. And you will pay for it too. You will pay for it too if you let them back in. If you do hear from them, no response. Don't give them one word, nothing, all right? You want to starve that narcissist, and the only way to starve them is to say nothing, to totally, totally ice them out till they get tired and they move on to somebody else. Okay, so I hope that helps you, and understand, if you didn't hear from the narcissist, it could be they're busy with other people, or they realize you're too strong, or they're waiting down the road to try you later on, hoping that you soften up, or maybe you're not doing well. That's why they also watch your social media to see where your head is at. Are you doing well? Are you not doing well? And that's why you may hear from a narcissist if they think, you're sad, you're depressed, you're feeling vulnerable. What better time to try to hit you up when you're down, right? They'll try to re-love bomb you. So they want to see what's going on. They also can come back and hoover you when they see that, you're doing well too. They figure, ooh, you're doing well. Oh, let me, contact you. So generally though, you guys, if you haven't heard from that narcissist, it's because they don't need you at that time. It's not to say they couldn't need you down the road, but at that time, they're not at a point of desperation that they're going to, submit and come back to you and reach out to you. They're doing okay. If you haven't heard from the narcissist, they're doing okay. But that could change. Things always change in a narcissist's life. That could change where they could end up, losing supply and getting desperate, and may reach out to you, because a lot of times they don't want to reach out to you because of their pride, but if they're desperate, they would reach out to you. So you have to really take a look at the narcissist you dealt with and say, are they a desperate person? If they're not desperate, you most likely won't hear from them. If they are desperate and don't have a lot of supply, that's when you hear from them. And also, it could be too soon. They still could come down the road and reach out to you. It happens. I've had a narcissist reach out to me after 10 years. So it happens, you guys. Even if you have a big blowout fight with them, they could reach out to you if they need something from you, all right? I hope that helps you. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the video. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, check out the link in the bio at askgaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. I have limited time and availability. Check out my YouTube at The Game Exposed Podcast. I have over 7,000 videos where I lay it down on YouTube. Instagram and Facebook is The Game EXP 123, and TikTok is The Game Exposed. And have a great day.